shoot to kill away. And Bull Ramadan one shoot to kill coming online. Looking like this is their game. And Bull Ramadan one shoot to kill coming online. Looking like this is their game. Solidify their place. That's not so soothing. Oh, it's not in the shots. It doesn't matter. He gets 3 damage done. That's not so soothing. In kind of trouble. Sits behind the back lines now. Spot as heuristically have played myself, and all seems all too aware of that. But the knee just bounces straight. That one does.
Yeah, that one did. That one did. This is the rest of Furia showing up. Rospu gonna try to see if he can salvage something out of this. He gets taken very low by Pio. Might be one more well-placed throwable away.
Tulin's just trying to play safety here. He can maybe swing on the top, but by all accounts, this should be a liquid win. Levi's is dead. Flib's at the forefront of that. Oh! Tulin knows he's done for here. Not going to give it up too easy. Maybe send a pan for luck. Say, all right, guys, see you on the weekend, hopefully. We'll do our best to get there with you. As Liquid find the angle, find the win.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome. It is day number 2 here of our weekly survival for week 1. Yes, we are ready to go into more matches, which will decide who is going to be moving into our weekly final. My name is Kyle Loris, and joining me, I have Patrick and Cameron here to break down everything that's going to be going on. We already had a great day number 1, gentlemen, here with 4 or 5 even, I should say, of our teams being able to advance on into that weekly final for us, and it was a blinder of a day.
It was a very interesting day. This is the first time we've seen this format with the winner going through to the weekly final. And it caused some trouble for some of the teams. We saw some of them adapting a little bit better. I'd say EU was one of the regions that adapted best yesterday. But coming in today, it's probably going to be a little bit different looking at all the teams and how they're going to play it out.
Yeah, that's fair to say. And looking at Cameron at how teams were able to advance on from yesterday in terms of our top 16,
with
it was
the
a very
winner going
wide
through to the
spread of the rankings from those ranking decisions to actually be able to advance on into our first weekly final.
Yeah, you guys just said it earlier. It was like 1st, 5th, 13th, and then 15th or something like that. So really just covering the entire field from ranking decision. So I think a lot of viewers, myself included a little bit, were expecting to see a little more of a reflection of the top 5 teams from ranking decision be the first ones to make it in. It is all over the place, and we have some teams that we expected to perform significantly better who are just basically nowhere to be seen right now, particularly, if I'm being honest, from some of the Asian regions.
Yeah, and teams that have only just come into the games actually performing pretty well. We saw some of the teams who were able to kind of sit back, assimilate some of that information, performing well in regards to kind of the potential meta shift in inverted commas that we're kind of looking at here in regards to the format overall. It's a great selection of teams for us that have already advanced on so far. And the match on the left-hand side are the 5 teams that won a chicken dinner yesterday.
Yeah, it's a really good list, but once again, remember, you need that winner currently. In match number 6, we have 4 teams that hasn't gotten
in order, mind you, the teams waiting to join in on the next game. So it's a great selection of teams for us that have already advanced on, and the match itself that's coming up is also pretty damn good too.
Yeah, it's a really good list, but once again, remember, you need that win. And currently, in match number 6 here, we have 4 teams that hasn't gotten themselves a win yet in the PGI.S here. It's Tianba, Buram, Zenith, and Petricoro. These 4 teams have not won a game yet.
It is only an isolated 5 games in that day, but Europe and North America came out to play, man.
They did, and I think that it's a fair look, at least at the beginning, of just the different regional metas that are now converging here in Korea for PGI.S. Where EU region is more known for being very rotational and positionally heavy. If you wanted to be cute, you could say they played almost like a chess match. But then the Asian regions are like far extreme, particularly China, who they're just constantly fighting from the beginning. Korea, not as much so, but for a lot of these teams, it seems to be a bit more of an adjustment going.
Today and tomorrow, we will play 16 matches. If you get a chicken dinner during that, you advance on to the weekly final and you stop playing. As you can see here, we've already played 5 games. Sonics was the first to get a chicken dinner, and for that, they got $10,000 for 1 chicken dinner alone. Brilliant stuff. And now, of course, we teeter on down from there. So the next winner was Infantry, etc., etc., etc. We have a prize pool for our next 3 games, which is 2,000, 1,000, and 1,000. As you can see, 6th, 7th, and 8th. They're on the left-hand side in the weekly survival. And in the weekly finals, which is happening on Saturday and Sunday, in that first week, if you win, you get $25,000. Now, in that weekend, it is back to super settings rules. So kills will matter a lot for points. Placement will matter a lot. It's the same 16 teams playing every single lobby in that weekend. Whew. That was a mouthful for us, but I got there, and it's an innovative format that we've got here, and we've got 6 games coming at you today and then 5 tomorrow. So we'll be alternating between Erangel and Miramar to get things going today. It's an exciting time.
It's an exciting time, and as you can see, today we're going to be starting on Erangel. The difference is yesterday we started on Miramar, and we had 1 less Erangel game. And this will matter a lot because we have some of the teams that are doing way better on Miramar and way worse on Erangel. And those teams, they might get a little bit of a trouble, but you also have teams like 4AM and Digital Athletics that we've seen battling out on Erangel itself. This will make that they will lose the momentum between every game, and I think that is something that is hurting both of the teams, not just on the Erangel games, of course, but on the Miramar game as well, because they basically don't get to play anything. They're just sitting there waiting for the next game to start.
That's fair. Any thoughts regarding that, Cameron? Or
I had that hot drop at the very end, dropped out of my mind between DA and 4AM. We were all just so shocked because that compo that they constantly fight over has no value, at least from what we can see. Maybe they found a treasure map and they just want the rights to dig below and find all the gold under there. I don't know.
I like that. I'm all about the Pirates. We've got ourselves on the left-hand side, the teams that have already advanced. Excuse me. And as we take a look at the highlights here, we're taking a focused look a little bit at some of the teams that were highly ranked for us from our rankings decision matches, but haven't quite been able to get that win yet. Whoa, slow-mo.
Yeah, and let's talk about Damwon Kia. They've been a really steady team so far. We saw them in the rankings coming on second place. We thought they were dominating all the way until Sonics overtook them, but they kind of were, right? We saw them getting themselves 2 wins, both on Miramar, and they've been playing really good. But when it comes to yesterday and the weekly survival format, where you need to get that win, they haven't really adjusted themselves to that. We still see them going for a little bit too much of their early fights. It's not always a bad thing, but in their style as well, we see them doing very large splits, very big splits, and it's 1-1-1-1 splits, and it's not doing them any favor, because we see them keep on losing people because of those splits. They're not able to group up or help each other out before they get crashed.
I think one thing that's scary about Damwon Kia, Tiamba at 4 a.m. Cami, is that they can potentially win at any time. I don't know if they've fully adjusted to the match just yet. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but once they get there, I feel like they could just pop it and win at any time.
Yeah, virtually every single team here, if they do find themselves in a strong late game position for up, strong positioning across the map for control, they have like an 80% chance to win. That's how tight the mechanical skill is amongst all these teams. That's why it's about getting into those positions that is going to make a good separate good teams from great teams. And I do want to reiterate that what you said earlier on, it has only been 5 games. It's perfectly reasonable for there to be a little bit of teething for a number of these different teams. And I think by the end of the week, fingers crossed, we should see a number of these teams, like the ones just listed, sort of get it together and realize what makes this format different from what we've been playing so historically.
Well, let's talk about some teams that we're expecting to maybe do well here today, because, of course, we do have 6 games available, and we already saw yesterday some performances, some glimmers of hope for some of these teams that might eke us in the right direction. So, Froz, I want to start with you. Who do you think is going to be able to do pretty decently today as we look at Damwon Kia?
Well, this is not one of the teams I have on my mind, at least. I have 2 teams. The first one would be Virtus Pro. They kind of playing their own style of game, and they haven't been changing too much, but this kind of format suits them anyway with their 3-1 split, having Batuli do a lot of the scouting itself, and they try to like always go for the win. This is something we normally see them do in